You're in the middle of a fight with your partner. They're saying words, you can see their mouth moving. You know that what they're saying matters, that you should be responding, that this is the moment to use one of the 15 communication tools you've collected from books and reels and that one couples therapist 3 years ago. But you can't. You can't speak. You can't think. You can't even figure out what you're feeling, let alone explain it to your partner. Your brain has gone somewhere far away and your face is just there, stuck, frozen. And then comes the part that makes it so much worse. Why won't you just talk to me? You're shutting me out. You don't even care. Here's what nobody tells you. That shutdown you just experienced, it has a neurological name. It has a mechanism. And this is the part that's going to change things. It doesn't look the same in every neurodivergent brain. ADHD shutdown and autistic shutdown can look identical from the outside and be completely different processes on the inside. Today, we're going to figure out which is your unique shutdown, and I'll give you 4 tools to help you navigate the world of shutdowns in a way that supports your neurodivergent brain instead of fighting against it. This is the Neurodivergent Love Lab. I'm Jenna Dalton, a psychologist who helps ADHD, autistic, and ADHD humans make sense of love. And this is episode 5, Why You Shut Down in Fights and What to Do About It. Today, I'm going to walk you through what's actually happening in your brain when you go silent in a fight, why your partner's experience of it is so different from yours, and what helps each type of shutdown, because they're not the same and one-size-fits-all conflict advice misses both. I want to set a scene for you, and I want you to notice which version feels more like yours. Version 1, you and your partner are arguing. Things are escalating. You're following the conversation, kind of, but your thoughts are also racing. You're thinking about something they said 2 minutes ago that you didn't get to respond to. You're already planning the apology you're going to make tomorrow. You're noticing the dishwasher is running. You're suddenly aware of how thirsty you are. You try to say something, anything, but the words come out wrong or louder than you meant or in the wrong order. You feel like a balloon being squeezed and the air has nowhere to go. Your partner says, "Why are you yelling?" And you didn't even know you were. Version 2, you and your partner are arguing. Their voice is getting louder. Their face is doing something. What is it doing? You can't read it. You're trying to track 3 things at once, the words, the tone, and what your body is doing, which seems to be folding inward without your permission. Your throat is closing. Words are right there. I know what I want to say. I can feel the shape of the sentence, but the root between my brain and my mouth has been demolished. You go quiet. Not because you're refusing to talk, because you literally can't. Your partner says, "Fine, I guess we're not talking about this." And you want to scream, "I'm trying." Both of those experiences are shut down, but they are not the same thing. The first one, the racing, the wrong words coming out, the balloon feeling, is more typical of ADHD shutdown. It's about flooding. Too much, too fast, and the system can't keep up. The second one, the throat closing, the words being there but unreachable, the folding inward, that's more typical of autistic shutdown. It's about overload. The system hit its limit and it's going offline to protect itself. And here's why this matters so much. When a mixed neurotype couple fights, or when an ADHD person fights a neurotypical partner, or when 2 neurodivergent people with different profiles fight each other, they're often having 2 completely different neurological experiences all at the same time. And then trying to use the same tools to solve it? It's like you're playing chess and your partner is playing checkers and somebody else is screaming, "Just communicate better." Right. So helpful. Thanks. Okay, so neuroscience time. I'm going to keep this practical because the goal isn't for you to get a PhD in neurobiology. The goal is for you to recognize your own shutdown when it's happening, name it, and have words for what your partner is experiencing too. Let's start with the ADHD brain in conflict. ADHD is, at its core, a regulation difference, not an attention deficit. That's a misnomer. It's an attention regulation challenge. And the same goes for emotion. ADHD brains tend to feel emotions at a higher intensity and with less filtering than neurotypical brains. The volume knob doesn't go from 0 to 10, it goes from 0 to 100, with very few stops in between. Now layer on top of that working memory differences, processing speed variability, and a nervous system that's quick to spike into fight or flight. Put that brain in a conflict where there's high emotion, multiple things to track, time pressure, and the threat of a relational rupture, and you have a flooding problem. Here's what's happening neurologically. Your amygdala, the part of your brain that handles threat detection, fires fast and loud. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for measured language, perspective taking, and what therapists call executive function, it goes offline. It can't compete with the amygdala's volume. So you've got all the emotion and none of the access to the reasoning brain that would normally help you put it into words. This is what ADHD shutdown often looks like. The sudden inability to remember what you were even arguing about. The words coming out wrong, sharper, louder, or in a tone you didn't intend. Tears that show up before you understand why. A sudden urge to leave the room. Or, conversely, a frozen quality where you can't move or speak, but inside it feels like 1,000 things are happening all at once. The hallmark of ADHD shutdown is the contrast between internal noise and external silence. There's a riot happening in your head, yet none of it is making it to your mouth. And then, and this is the cruel part, once you finally come back online, often hours later, maybe even a day, the perfect words show up. The thing you wanted to say, the boundary you wanted to hold. Why didn't I say that in the moment? Because in the moment, your brain wasn't capable of accessing it. That's not a character flaw. That's neurology. It wasn't a choice. It just happened automatically. Now, autistic shutdown is a different beast entirely, and I want to honor that difference because I think a lot of autistic people have spent their lives being told they shut down because they don't want to deal with it, when what's actually happening is far more involuntary. Autistic brains process more sensory and social information than neurotypical brains. Not less, more. You're picking up on facial micro-expressions, vocal tone shifts, the buzz of the lights, the temperature of the room, the way your shirt feels against your skin, the subtle change in your partner's posture 3 minutes ago that you haven't stopped thinking about. All of it at full resolution, all the time. When you add conflict to that, which means louder voices, faster pace, emotional intensity, unpredictable reactions, and the threat of getting something wrong socially, your processing system can hit its capacity. And when an autistic brain hits capacity, it doesn't flood, it shuts down. Think of it like a circuit breaker. When the load gets too heavy, the system trips to protect itself. Speech goes first, sometimes literally going from talking to not being able to form words in seconds. This is what we call situational mutism, and it's not chosen. It's the brain triaging resources. Then comes social processing. You stop being able to read your partner's face, even though you were reading it perfectly fine 5 minutes ago. Then comes motor planning. Your body might feel heavy, slow, or like it's been switched off. You're stuck in quicksand and it feels paralyzing. From the outside, autistic shutdown often looks like going quiet, looking down or away, the body becoming still or rigid. A body posture that quite literally looks like you're trying to melt into the floor. Maybe a mood that can read as cold or angry to a partner who is making assumptions about what they're seeing. From the inside, autistic shutdown feels like, I'm still here, I'm still trying, I want to engage, but my system has gone offline and I can't force it back on. Someone took the batteries, help! A really important note, autistic shutdown is not the same as autistic meltdown. Meltdown is the more explosive version, the loud one. Shutdown is the quiet, internal version. Both are responses to overload, same root, different expression. So here's where it gets messy. If you have ADHD and your partner is neurotypical, your shutdown might look to them like aggression or withdrawal, depending on which way the flooding goes. They might experience your sharp tone as a personal attack. They might experience your sudden need to leave the room as abandonment. If you're autistic and your partner is neurotypical, your shutdown might look to them like coldness, stonewalling, or not caring. They might experience your silence as a refusal to talk, a choice you're making. They might interpret your expression as contempt. And if you're ADHD, you might cycle through both patterns in the same fight, flooding into shutdown, into flooding, into shutdown, and your partner might be struggling to figure out what exactly is going on. The wildest part? None of these reads are accurate. Your partner is not seeing what's happening because what's happening is invisible. It's neurological. It's happening at a level that doesn't show up on the surface. This is one of the reasons mixed neurotype conflict is so painful. Both people are operating from completely different operating systems and assuming the other person is using the same one. So they read the data wrong every time. Okay, we've named the patterns. Now what do we do with this? I'm going to give you 4 things. The first 2 are about understanding yourself. The second 2 are about working with your partner. We're going to layer them. 1, identify your shutdown profile. This is the foundation. You can't tell your partner what's happening if you don't know yourself. Take a moment, not right now and not in the middle of a conflict, but later with a journal or a note app or speaking into your phone as a voice note, and answer this. When I'm in a hard conversation and things start to feel too big, what happens first? Does my mind speed up or does it slow down? Do I feel like there's too much inside me trying to come out, or like there's a wall going up between me and the other person? Do words feel jumbled and wrong, or do they feel locked away and unreachable? There's no wrong answer. There's no perfect category. A lot of people are some of both. The point isn't to land on a label. The point is to start describing what's happening in your body and brain so you have language for it. And then, this is the part most people skip. Write down what your shutdown looks like from the outside. What does your face do? What does your voice do? What do you do with your body? Because your partner is reading the outside. If you know what they're seeing, you can give them better information about what it actually means. You can even ask your partner, what does my face and body do during a fight? 2, build a pre-conflict agreement. This is the tool I wish every couple I worked with had built 6 months before they came to therapy. The pre-conflict agreement is a conversation you have when you're not fighting, when things are calm, maybe over a meal, maybe on a walk, maybe in writing if that's how your brain works best. In the agreement, you cover 3 things. First, you each name what your shutdown looks like, both internally and externally. You might say, when I shut down, my face goes blank and I stop talking. From the outside, it might look like I'm angry or like I don't care. What's actually happening is my brain has gone offline and I can't speak. I'm still here. I still love you. I just can't speak. Your partner names theirs too. Even if your partner is neurotypical, they have a stress response in conflict too. Maybe they get pursuity when you go quiet. Maybe they raise their voice. Maybe they get sarcastic. Naming it without judgment helps both of you see what's coming. Second, you agree on what the shutdown signal will be. A word, a hand gesture, a sound, an emoji, a specific phrase. Maybe my brain just went offline, or I'm flooding, or I need to pause. When that signal happens, both of you know this is not a refusal to engage. This is a neurological emergency. Third, you agree on what happens next. Do you separate and come back together in 20 minutes, an hour, tomorrow morning? Do you do something physical first? Go for a walk, have a quick workout, have a dance it out moment. Do you write to each other? Do you sit in the same room without talking? You get to design this. You're not bound by what other couples do. The pre-conflict agreement does 2 things at once. It gives your nervous system a sense of safety, which, by the way, reduces the frequency of shutdowns. When your body knows there's a plan, it doesn't have to brace as hard. And it gives your partner a script for what to do when they see you go offline. 3, use different reentry strategies for different shutdowns. Here's where the ADHD autism distinction matters practically. If your shutdown is the ADHD flooding type, your reentry strategy needs to release the energy. Movement helps enormously. A walk, push-ups, cleaning a counter, cold water on your face, anything that gives the activated nervous system a place to go. You're not running away from the conflict. You're moving the energy through your body so your prefrontal cortex can come back online and you can actually access words. For ADHD shutdown, sitting still and trying to calm down often makes it worse. Your system needs to do something with the activation. If your shutdown is the autistic overload type, your reentry strategy needs to reduce input. Quiet, dark, solo, sensory neutrality, the opposite of stimulation. You need your processing system to come back online, and that requires offering it less, not more. A weighted blanket, a dark room, headphones with no music, just silence. Stimming freely without having to mask. The longer you've been overloaded, the longer recovery you need. For autistic shutdown, trying to push through and keep talking is like pressing the reset button on a computer that's already trying to reboot. You make the recovery longer, not shorter. If you're ADHD, you might need both. Sometimes one then the other, sometimes a unique combination only you can map. You're allowed to experiment. You're the one who knows what your nervous system needs. Go with what feels right in the moment and give yourself permission to recalibrate at any time. 4. Repair without pressure. This is the part that almost every couple struggles with, and it's why I've built so much of my work around it. After a shutdown, the moment you come back online is not the moment to immediately resolve everything. The moment you come back online is the moment to reconnect before you problem solve. Before the conflict resolution, you need an act of repair, even a small act. Eye contact, if that works for you both. A hand on a shoulder. We're going to be okay. A short text that says, I'm back, I love you, can we talk in 20 minutes? That small repair tells both nervous systems the threat is over, the relationship is intact, we are still us. And only when both nervous systems have gotten that signal can you actually have a productive conversation about the thing that started the fight. If you skip the repair and go straight to problem solving, you're trying to do logic with a system that's still bracing for impact. It won't work. You'll re-trigger, and then you'll be back in shutdown and you'll start collecting evidence that we never resolve anything, when actually you simply skipped a step. Repair first, solve second. Okay, here's what I want you to take from this episode. When you shut down in a fight, you're not failing. You're not choosing to react the way you do. You're not punishing your partner. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do under conditions of overwhelm, and the version of overwhelm matters. ADHD flooding and autistic overload are different mechanisms with different solutions, and treating them with the same generic advice is part of why the standard relationship playbook keeps falling flat for you. You're allowed to know your own shutdown. You're allowed to name it. You're allowed to ask for what your specific brain needs in the recovery, not what some neurotypical inclined relationship book said you should need. And your partner, they're allowed to learn this with you. They're not expected to magically know what's happening when you go quiet. Tell them. Give them words. Give them actionable advice. The goal isn't a relationship without shutdowns. That's not realistic for any nervous system. The goal is a relationship where shutdowns don't end the conversation. They simply pause it. Don't let the pause suggest it's over. Keep going. I'm Jenna Dalton. Your brain isn't broken. It's beautiful. I'll talk to you soon.